Hello everyone, I'm Derrick Stilley, bringing you Culture Central's Student Leadership Panel. Today I'm joined by some very special guests, the leaderships of the Black Caucus, NAACP, the National Council of Negro Women, and the Black Male Leadership Symposium, four prominent student-led organizations here on Penn State's campus. Thank you all for taking the time to talk with us. Before we begin, please share your names, what org you represent, and then any events looking forward to.
Well, first of all, thank you for having me. My name is Sydney Ferrer-Hamilton. I'm president of the Penn State NAACP chapter. As far as events that we have coming up, I can't share too much because we're cooking some stuff, but I can say that Women's History Month is coming up, so there will be women's empowerment events. We will also be doing stuff regarding Black economics because we have a new economic development chair this year. And just educating the community, that's like a very big goal for our chapter this year when we first started our term. So continuing to educate is our biggest goal for the semester.
Okay, talk to me, Chris.
Hello, my name is Christopher Davis, and I am the president of the Black Male Leadership Symposium. Same thing as Sydney said, we have a lot of events that we're cooking up, but I guess the main event that we're thinking about doing is the BMLS basketball tournament. So with that, it's just a regular style basketball tournament, but we want to have a lot of performances and kind of make it more intimate and such. And we're also thinking about bringing back our symposium event. If you guys don't know, when BMLS first started, we had a symposium event that kind of entailed a type of topic to discuss for like a couple hours and maybe a speaker and stuff like that. So we're still coming up with what speaker to have and what topics to come up with, but yeah.
Hi everyone, my name is Maya Beckley. I am the president of the National Council of Negro Women. Similar to how they said, we're cooking up some things. Recently, we just finished our Lovers Fest week. We had our date auction, so that was very successful. Thank you to all the contestants again, if you were there. And then our regular programming, regular general body meetings, and the National Council of Negro Women NCNW program, which is our mentor-mentee program. And then we also have Players Ball coming up in April, so be on the lookout for that. We have a special celebrity guest coming, so you guys will check that out soon.
Hello, my name is Kenisha Brown. I'm the president of Student Black Caucus here on Penn State's campus. Happy Black History Month, first off. Truly, this has been a great month for Black Caucus, just celebrating all the work that students have been putting in and celebrating our ancestors as well. And next week, we just want to finish off strong. Our first event is on Monday, celebrating 53 years of Student Black Caucus. And then we're following up with the Sankofa the next day. Sankofas are where we dive into a topic related to the Black community and dissect and discuss. Then on Wednesday, we're doing a Black alumni panel. So come hear from graduates and learn how to navigate the postgraduate world. And then on Friday, we're doing a Fun Friday collab with the Center for Black Digital Research.
That sounds like a lot of fun. Everything y'all said sounds like a lot of fun. But I do have, my first question, I guess I could say is, what standard do you guys and your orgs represent at a PWI? What do you feel like causes you guys to make change, and what change have you seen yourself making? Anybody could take it.
That's a big question.
Yeah, that's a loaded question.
I'm sorry.
I guess I could start for NAACP.
Mm-hmm.
As far as what our goal always is to just create a safe space for students of color, even though our events are open to everybody.
Right.
I feel like a huge part of being at a PWI is feeling a part of that PWI. We hear our slogan, it's "We Are," and a big slogan that we use in our Black community here is like "Now more than ever." So I feel like for NAACP and for me personally, when I first stepped into the position, I really wanted to create a space where everybody felt comfortable to learn and, create community, find friends, because it could be very easy to become isolated here. Right. Even like our town, like it's a college town, there's nothing around us and stuff. So I feel like Penn State can breed isolation. Yeah, just outside of like our academics, creating a safe space for students to just learn, have fun, and be in touch with their culture and like-minded people and things of that nature.
Right. So something you said really stood out to me in the way you said that we are still at a PWI. So how do you feel that your orgs are bridging the gap between people of color and non-people of color? Do you think that's something you guys maybe could work better, or do you think you guys are doing a great job at it now?
This has been a very big conversation that's been had amongst, like, I feel like all of us as presidents, like bridging that gap. And, you know, especially when it comes to like collaborations, like maybe collaborating with orgs that don't necessarily fall underneath like the Black Caucus umbrella and things of that nature. When someone asked me that the other day, it was funny because when I thought about it at its core, I thought the easiest way to navigate that bridge is through friendship. And I think that's what's so simple about leadership. People make it into like this really big thing where it's like, what skills do you need to have? But at the end of the day, I think what makes us all really good leaders and why we were elected into these positions is because we were passionate about our orgs and people recognize that. And I think why we're able to collaborate so well together, like everyone at this table, I have some sort of friendly relationship with.
Right.
And I think that outside of me being president of NAACP, like, you know, Chris could look at me and be like, Sydney's my friend, like, you know what I mean? So I think that trying to just become people's friends will lead to tackling the bigger issues. You know, we have to put one foot in front of the other first. So, you know, maybe befriending someone in your class who doesn't look like you, and then you find out that they're a part of another org and you guys collaborate because you're both presidents of that org. It's just that simple. Like, just be friends, you know? We are friends. That kind of thing.
That's what you did there. That was nice. That was nice. What about you guys? What do you guys think about bridging the gap?
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with Sydney. Like, I guess my goal was really to bring that sense of community among Black men, but I've also realized that it can't just be Black men. We're not really gonna have a change if it's just centered around Black men. So like, we actually have a couple of people that aren't Black on our e-board, and it was a decision that we really talked a lot about, especially with our advisor. But we just said, like, and the old president, we just like, yo, our goal is just to promote change at the end of the day. So how are we gonna do that if we're only sticking within what we know? So,
you guys, anything to add?
I would say for the National Council of Negro Women specifically, we focus a lot on empowerment, pretty much.
Okay.
Empowerment of Black women and our families. Whenever we go to our meetings every day or every Thursday, we do our best to greet each other whenever we see each other, like in the hallways, in the hub, anything, anywhere. And just forming that sense of community and how you said, just being friends. That's just the first way to like break the ice. And then you never know where you can go from there. I know that we do have, like how you were saying, non-Black people in your organization. We also have that as well. And I think that touches a lot on inclusivity. Because we do have that diversity aspect, we also need to work on that inclusivity aspect as well, across the board, especially at Penn State. So whenever I see the Penn State account on Instagram posting Black orgs, I'm like, wow, like we're making it on the Penn State page. Like stuff like that really sticks out to me because I know like sometimes whenever we see Penn State posting people of color, it tends to be kind of like a show type thing, but we never really showcase the actual work that we're doing for our organization. So whenever I see that, it just really touches my heart and makes me happy to see that. So
I think that feeling is definitely felt at this table with everyone. So I will say that you're not alone in that. Anything you want to add?
Yeah, I would just say, to be honest, like Student Black Caucus, we know that people come to our org and people come to all the orgs under our umbrella actively to seek out Black students, actively to seek out people of color. So I'm not going to sit here and lie and say, yeah, we seek out, you know, to partnership with white orgs, because that's not what they're looking for when they come to our organization. But that doesn't mean they can never come to our space. That doesn't mean we don't take the information we learn there and bring it to white orgs, because sometimes they're the people who need to hear how Black students feel, and higher ups. We also take it to white higher ups often as well, making sure they're hearing the conversations we're having within these Black orgs.
Right. I mean, I think that's very important. So I want to dive into you guys more as people. How do you think that these orgs have affected you guys and helped you grow at a PWI and changed you for the better?
I could start. I'd simply say it got me out of my shell. Like freshman year, sophomore year, I was really just staying in my room and just doing work. And then once I stepped foot into a BMLS meeting, I just got inspired to just do more and seek discomfort. And seek discomfort is something I just stand by and tell all my members, you guys should just continue being uncomfortable. So I guess the biggest thing I took from that was just how my leadership built up and how all these different hardships and whatever it is that happened with the org just built me up as a leader.
I think for me personally, like coming to Penn State in itself was already like a very big experience for me because I'm from Florida. So I already had to travel like very far to get here. So I also wasn't the kind of person that necessarily would take like lead or take charge of situations. Like I wouldn't even go to events if like my friends weren't going. So if you had told me like freshman year, like, oh, you're gonna be president of the NAACP, I would have been like, girl, you lying. Like that's just not how I thought everything was gonna pan out. But I will say, I think more than anything, it taught me that sometimes the people around you are the people that show you the qualities that you didn't even know that you had.
Right.
I had no intentions of running for president when the election talks first came out and stuff. And the people that were around me, they saw how passionate I was about the mission of NAACP. Like I used to call NAACP my baby, but it was never like from a leadership standpoint. It was just because like I loved the org so much. So having like the people around me, a lot of the people that were on our exec like last year who graduated, like encouraged me and say like, you know, we think you could do it was like a really big thing for me. And I think like I was so honored and like humbled that people saw that quality in me, and I carry that with me in like every decision that I make throughout my term this year. So that was like a big thing for me.
Yeah, I think that's very heartfelt and then very warming, as well. So what advice would you guys give to students who maybe want to get involved in your orgs but are shy about showing it?
I say just show up. Like, honestly, just show up. Like, so many people come to Black Caucus and they think like, oh, I'm not going to have fun or I'm not going to know anyone. And they leave like knowing 5 more people, laughing, like having a good time, ready to come back. So I think just never limiting yourself and seeing where the opportunity takes you.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you all again for being here. We appreciate your presence and your honest conversations to make PSU a better and more inclusive space. Links to each organization's social media will be linked below as we continue to celebrate Black History Month and beyond. Stay in touch, support, and continue to get involved.